The following content is sponsored and does not necessarily reflect the views of WATD Radio. Now, Paul Ponders on 95.9 WATD. Be a part of the show. Call or text 781-837-4900. Now, here's your host, Paul Solano.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Paul Ponders with Paul Solano and Arthur Boyle joining in studio. Paul is still kind of setting up for his show, so we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we will have Paul and Arthur right here on Paul Ponders on 95.9 WATD. Don't go anywhere.
Attention WATD listeners, don't leave any money on the table. Call Performance Appraisal LLC and appraiser Arthur Boyle and Associates. Arthur may be reached at 781-293-6900 or Boyle6900 at AOL.com. Since 1994, Performance has developed many niche services ranging from appraising single-family homes to providing expert witness testimony. Again, call our own Arthur Boyle at 781-293-6900. Greetings, ATD listeners. It's Paul Solano of Paul Ponders promoting a fine wine and what to dine Italian wine tasting event to be held at the Pearl Street Station Restaurant, 53 Summer Street in Malden on Monday, March 24th from 5:30 to 7:30. This event, led by Pembroke's nationally recognized wine guru, Dave Boyle, is sponsored by the National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame Massachusetts chapter. For ticket information of $30 per person or $50 per couple, you may contact me at paul@paulponders.com. South Street Diner, located at 178 Nealon Street, Boston, is Boston's only all-night dining destination, open 7 nights a week for late-night eats. Yep, that's 24/7 in my book. Owner Saul Seidel has grown this former iconic Blue Diner to be the place to go for keeping the party going or filling your stomachs before you head home to the South Shore or the Cape and the Islands and listen to WATD along the way home. Ask Saul about his grandmother's banana bread recipe, the Boston cream pancakes, umpteen eggs Benny offerings, and tell him that Paul Ponders sent you.
Have you heard about Pembroke Collision? Price and quality don't often collide under the same roof. Not so at Pembroke Collision at 192 Benekeset Street in Pembroke. Pembroke Collision will work with you and your insurance company to get you back on the road in a safe and satisfactory vehicle. Put your trust in Ben Bastianelli and his crew at Pembroke Collision. Just call 781-293-4040 or find them on Facebook. Pembroke Collision, happy to work for you. Have you tried Bryanttville Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that's steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Bryanttville Pizza Kitchen. Chicken wings and fingers and the famous flavors complement their stir-fry dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand into Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Bryanttville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Bryanttville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
Greetings, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Welcome and thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD. Happy Ides of March. Hopefully everyone's having a lot of Caesar salad today.
Happy Pie Day.
Happy Pie Day. Happy belated Pie Day.
Well, we're a day late.
And $1 short.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that voice you hear is a familiar voice. It is Arthur Boyle, Executive Advisor and Consultant to Paul Ponders. Arthur Boyle, welcome back.
It's nice to be back. And for the past year and a half, it's been, one visit after the next. And I can't tell you enough good things about Mass General and their staff and the Dana-Farber group. They're just tremendous people.
They really are. Just a tremendous, dedicated group of healthcare workers.
Yeah, they're walking angels as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. Well, it's so nice to have you in studio, Arthur. I know you've been busy doing some stuff with the grandkids. How are they doing?
They're doing well. Everybody should have 6.
Okay. Well, I'm starting at one in the near future in July, so we'll catch up to you one day.
Yeah, I hope I'm around for that, but you'll have fun with them. Their grandchildren are the best. That's all I can say.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, again, I want to thank you all for tuning into Paul Ponders' radio show. My name is Paul Solano of the PSNL Marketing Group. And as you probably already know, I wear another hat as general manager of Pearl Street Station Restaurant in Malden. Pearl Street Station was recently featured on America's Best Restaurants, an independent marketing firm.
Yeah, how's that, huh?
It was a nice honor. It really was. We filled out a survey. We got narrowed down to 5 restaurants, then to 3. So they featured 3 in Massachusetts. It was really, really cool. It was nice being recognized as an independently owned business, 25 years or more, with a unique story to tell.
Yeah, I've eaten there many a time, and it's a great place to eat. And it's a destination stop, too. You can do some shopping and things around it for a couple of blocks around. And it's a nice, easy, accessible, right at the T. The Orange Line comes into, they call it Malden Center. We always called it Malden Square. But they moved it over and became more. Exactly,
and it's one of those things that we're looking at, maybe evolving that whole district from Malden train stop to Oak Grove is the West End Railway District, and hopefully that will take suit down the road. And it's something where it's in the west end of Malden, and it's right along the railway system, so it works out really well. The Orange Line and the commuter rail. So it works out really well, but we do get a lot of foot traffic. And really a huge credit goes to Chef Felipe Fitzpatrick, who's back with Chef Marco and Chef Joaquin, preparing, believe it or not, the most delicious, flavorful corned beef and cabbage that you will ever have.
And you wanted to fight me for a place at the table. I'm not a corn. New England boiled dinner is not my specialty.
Well, it's one of those things. People go back and forth. Are you doing red? Are you doing the red? Are you doing the gray? What are you doing? I like the red better. I like the gray better. I personally like the red corned beef. But we'll have to hash this out at another time.
Oh, bingo.
Oh, sorry. Tim McKenney behind the glass. Where's the rim shot on that one?
There you go.
Exactly. Tim, how are you today?
Doing fine. How are you?
I want to thank you for holding down the fort while I was stuck in traffic.
That's my job.
Absolutely.
No dead air allowed.
And you do it so well. And Tom Gorman, great hearing you and your news report on the way down. Now, stuck in a little traffic, actually a lot of traffic, 2 different things. And I ran into a funeral procession. And it's one of those things that, wow. Yeah, I gave myself enough time. I know it, seriously. It was unbelievable. But again, I just want to welcome you. And it's so great to have Arthur Boyle in studio. And we'll be hearing from Shelley Wolf in the next few minutes or so. But really, Arthur, it's super to have you on. And we've been we've been airing the commercial for performance appraisal. So if you want to tell us about performance appraisals.
I'll give you just a brief overview. We're Mike Gianelli and I are business partners for the last 29 years, I want to say it is, 27 years. So time flies when you're having fun.
It really does.
But we're residential real estate appraisers. We do work predominantly for attorneys and accountants because bank work, as we call it, it's too much at one time. You've got to be able to do your research and spend your time. And the banks want to have it, give you an order today on Saturday, and Monday they come in looking for the report. And it's just there's stuff to do. So we've created our own little niche, and it's good business.
That's awesome. That's really great. And I believe that you also have the ability to be an expert witness in some cases.
Yeah, I've been an expert witness about 100 times probably over 38 years of appraising. And, some of them are interesting, some of them are boring, and some of them you just say, oh, my God, how did these people get together in the first place? But it's fun, and I think that's the most you can get out of it. Finding through the research, that perhaps somebody doesn't even own the house. It's taking a mortgage out and they're
Exactly. Now, just to close out a thought from a couple of weeks ago, when we had Mayor Bob Hedlund on, you were talking about the issue with the, I believe, the Comcast with the Nesson rates going up. How did that all work out?
Well, it all worked out. They had told me they would give me a certain rate, and they didn't do it. And I called everybody from the Red Sox on down. And the short story is they made good on their promise to give me the rate that they quoted, because they initially said, yeah, we quoted you the wrong rate, but that's not anything we have control over. So, they just didn't want to hear it. And I made my case, and they were very gracious in coming around to my way of thinking.
Absolutely. Well, it was a win-win situation, I guess, right?
Yeah. It was going to be tough to become a New York Yankee fan, but I was willing to make the supreme.
Right. Sometimes you have to make those tough decisions, and all. Well, on the line, on hold, and I'm going to bring her on a little bit early for the Pod Pro Entertainment Techie Toolbox segment with Techie Talonzo Amos and Ms. Shelley Wolf, global media firm owner of Toolbox Entertainer and a past Paul Ponders guest, episode number 35. Shelley, welcome.
Thank you, Paul. How are you doing today?
I am doing well, and I don't know if you've ever spoken to Arthur Boyle, but Arthur Boyle is in studio with me today.
I was just listening to him, yes, and I have to agree with him. Mass General is one of the best hospitals out there, so I can't complain.
Yeah, and the good thing is it's filtering down where people say we have the best hospitals in the world, all within a hands full of hospitals, all in the same area, and you can include in that now BDI and South Shore Hospital, which is now South Shore Health or something. Whatever it is, they've done it right.
Yeah, they have definitely done it right. I unfortunately had a visit about a year ago, and they repaired my elbow, and it's been very active, full functioning again. So it's been wonderful. So, well,
without getting too far into it, I'm 8 days out of South Shore Hospital, and everything they said would happen happened. Everything that they promised me, they delivered on, and I can't say any more than that. It's just great.
Yeah. There you go. That's great to hear. I'm glad you're doing better.
Thank you.
Absolutely, and Arthur looks really great. Looks great across the table here in the booth. But Shelley, where are you today? Are you back in Philadelphia?
I am back in Philadelphia. A little overcast. I did not get to see the lunar eclipse because it's been white skies for 3 days. I saw the full moon on Thursday, and then boom, it went to white skies. So it's unfortunate.
Wow. Well, when that blood moon appears again, we'll have to catch that.
That's right.
Absolutely. So what do you have for us today with your very helpful tips?
Yeah, well, today we are going to talk a little bit about tech and wellness and smart tools for better mental health. We're in a time right now where everyone's so dependent on their phones, even more than their computers. But this is around using your technology in your hands, but also thinking about your computers at home as well. So, so often technology is blamed for our increases in stress. But what if we flipped that narrative of what if we used it to improve our mental well-being instead? So I don't know about you, but whether you're balancing work, your family, or just daily stress in life, there are powerful tools right at our fingertips that can help us stay calm, connected, and in control. So today we're going to dive into techs that actually support mental health with helping with better sleep, reduction of stress, and bringing a little bit more balance to our daily lives. So, again, when I think about our devices, they can be both a blessing and a curse. We have constant notifications blowing up. Like my phone, lately I changed the notification setting, and it's constantly like bing, 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 and it's just making my head want to spin. But we have that social media overload, digital burnout, and it can just really take a toll on our well-being. So, but technology is not the enemy because it can be used for many, many great things. And it's just really about how we use it. So instead of feeling overwhelmed, I want to talk about how we can intentionally use our technology to reduce stress and boost our mental wellness. So, for example, do you ever find yourself scrolling in social media late at night only to feel that you're so drained in the next morning, or that you're constantly checking emails and struggling to stay unplugged? And the key here is not to eliminate that, but to use it better. And we are going to talk about some apps for relaxation. So there's this app called Calm or Headspace. It provides a great opportunity for guided meditations. There are sleep stories. They provide relaxation techniques, sound effects. There is an insight timer, it's called, and it offers free meditation sessions for 5 minutes, a break worth time. I do that sometimes during my workday just to kind of like unwind for a second. And they provide breath work that will that goes into full-length mindfulness courses if you want to spend the time going down that path. There's also a Forest app, which is pretty cool, and it encourages focus and mindfulness in a growing virtual tree where you can stay off your phone. So that is pretty fun. Thinking about iPhones and Android screen time, tracking and limiting our screen time to avoid mindless scrolling. I think like it's easy to go down that rabbit hole of just scroll. So we want to make sure we stay away from that. I think we want to look at our freedom and focus modes on our phones, which is also, it helps to block the distracting apps and websites during relaxation hours. So setting timers on our phones for our phone to kind of shut certain things off. So I've been doing that as well. Dark mode and blue light filters also helps reduce eye strain and improve your sleep. So by adjusting your screen settings in the evening, so like you can go on your phone, you can set a screen setting to turn on at a certain time so it goes into a darker mode and it's not that bright light shining in your eyes. And I also say do that again on your computers as well and all the accessories attached to it. I have my office across the room, but I always, I put my computer to sleep, but my microphone keeps blinking every time it hears noise and talking. So thinking about those things, sleep and stress management. White noise and sleep apps are really, really good. There's one called Noisely or Rain or Sleep Cycle. They improve sleep by calming sounds and it also provides sleep tracking. Smart lights, thinking about Philips Hues or the Casper Glow lights, adjusting light to promote relaxation in your home. Even like the salt rocks to get them in your house to bring some calmness. Stay connected without the overwhelmingness. And again, schedule tech-free time. Designate certain hours to unplug and unengage from and get back into real-world activities. Also, think about maybe digital journaling. If you feel like you have to be on your phone, digital journal on your phone. There's the app. You could use Notes or even put it in your email or like a Google Drive and write down your thoughts daily and manage your emotions and stress. So again, without letting tech overtake you, it's really important that technology should be used as a tool for well-being and not something that drains us. The key to balance is start small, try limiting notifications, setting your boundaries around the screen time, using wellness apps to support relaxation and mindfulness. And the goal isn't to disconnect completely, but to use tech in a way that supports your own personal mental health instead of working against it. Again, just a quick checklist: meditation, relaxation apps such as Calm or Headspace, screen time limits on your social media, take breaks from the phone, improve your sleep with smart lights and blue light filters and white noise, journal your thoughts daily, and schedule tech-free time. So today, again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. This is a great way of reducing your stress, tweaking your habits, and making it work for your well-being.
That is fabulous, and you will be following up with some of these tips that I'll be putting in my blog in the near future. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Awesome. So. Well, Shelley, another wonderful, wonderful job. Thank you so much for the great tips, helpful tips. And how do our listeners in Paul Ponders land reach out to you?
Yes, so we can be reached at info@podproentertainment.com. Again, I encourage everyone to stay mindful, stay balanced, and as always, take care of yourself.
Absolutely. That's a hashtag indeed.
And hashtag imagine.
Absolutely.
How do you know when you've hit that wall, though? I know it's time to go fishing when There's so much stress and so much of the phone that you can take that you need to take a break. But
yeah, that's a great question, Arthur. I think it's each person's different, right? I think it's just when you start to feel that grogginess, that tiredness, right? Like, I think, and that's a great question because, I work with kids and they are like, oh, social media or technology doesn't affect us. And the problem what I see is that we are just spending so much time that we've become oblivious to it. So I think it's just really trying to reduce that time. But I think much of it is when you start to feel like your heart beating faster, or you're starting to get headaches, or you're starting to feel that grogginess, it's really the time to start, like, step away, put the phone down, move away from the computer, and go out and go fishing. I need to go fishing myself. It's been a long, long time.
Well, you can have an open invitation. We live on one of the beautiful ponds in Pembroke, and
nice.
We caught my grandson's first fish about 10 years ago, and he's never forgotten it. There's a picture in the rec room, and it's got he and I and a fish, and it's one of it's one of the things we show people, what it's like to live on the pond.
That's fantastic. I would love that. Thank you for the invite.
It really is.
Yes. My father, I have to say, my father used to take us fishing all the time, and today would have been his 76th birthday, so it was nice to have that memory, so thank you for that.
Oh, that's nice.
Happy heavenly birthday to your dad.
Thanks.
Indeed. Well, Shelley, again, I thank you and look forward to hearing some more helpful tips next week.
Thank you. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you chat with you next week.
You got it. Look forward to it. Thank you, Shelley. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, as Arthur always says, it's not time to make the donuts. It's time to pay some bills. So let's hear from our sponsors. Greetings, ATD listeners. It's Paul Solano of Paul Ponders promoting a fine wine and What to Dine Italian wine tasting event to be held at the Pearl Street Station Restaurant, 53 Summer Street in Malden on Monday, March 24th from 5:30 to 7:30. This event, led by Pembroke's nationally recognized wine guru, Dave Boyle, is sponsored by the National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame Massachusetts chapter. For ticket information of $30 per person or $50 per couple, you may contact me at paul@paulponders.com. Attention WATD listeners, don't leave any money on the table. Call Performance Appraisal LLC and appraiser Arthur Boyle and Associates. Arthur may be reached at 781-293-6900 or Boyle6900 at AOL.com. Since 1994, Performance has developed many niche services ranging from appraising single-family homes to providing expert witness testimony. Again, call our own Arthur Boyle at 781-293-6900.
Have you tried Bryanttville Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that's steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Bryanttville Pizza Kitchen. Chicken wings and fingers and the famous flavors complement their stir-fry dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand into Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Bryanttville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Bryanttville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857. Have you heard about Pembroke Collision? Price and quality don't often collide under the same roof. Not so at Pembroke Collision at 192 Manakesett Street in Pembroke. Pembroke Collision will work with you and your insurance company to get you back on the road in a safe and satisfactory vehicle. Put your trust in Ben Bastianelli and his crew at Pembroke Collision. Just call 781-293-4040 or find them on Facebook. Pembroke Collision. Happy to work for you.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
We are back. Thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD. The call-in number is 781-837-4900. And you could also check us out on the Odyssey app like my daughter Ann in California. So a huge shout-out to Annie if you're listening.
Collect, Ann.
Call collect. I'll accept the call, Ann. I will indeed. Annie's doing well out there in California.
She's a great kid.
Oh, she really
She's
is.
not a kid anymore either.
No, she's not. She's 34 years old. Oh, boy. It seems like yesterday. Unbelievable. And also, just to pick up on one of our our commercials, you heard about the wine tasting event in Malden on March 24th at Pearl Street Station Restaurant from 5:30 to 7:30. It's a great event for tasting some really fine Italian wines, and also it benefits the National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame chapter, and I'm on the board of that Massachusetts chapter.
It gives you the chance to hear my brother talk about wine.
This is true, absolutely, and
he
does.
Goes right over my head, but it sounds important.
He does. David does a great job with that. And our president of the National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame is Mr. Dave Caiazzo. And Dave played in the Philadelphia Phillies organization, and he also had a great career for Augustine's Athletics and the Malden Merchants. And he was recently...
He hit a ball in Dever Park that's still traveling.
It still is. I heard about that ball. It's still going all the way down Emerald Street. It's down the Fellsway by now. But Dave was just selected to be inducted into the National Semi-Professional Baseball Hall of Fame, New England region. And Dave will be there at this March 24th event. So you could email me at paul@paulponders.com. I don't know if Dave is listening. But
he was one of the first 5 inductees of the Greater Boston, Golden Tornado Hall of Fame.
Yes, he was. Yes, he and Will Barron, and I'm forgetting who else was in that class. But Dave and Will were the 2 leaders for outstanding Malden High athletes.
Yeah, he was quite a baseball player. You know, you hear stories about people hitting long balls and things like that, and most of the time they are exaggerated. But Dave could hit the ball.
Absolutely, but he also had that 21 strikeout game against Everett, which I think to this day is, in fact, a record for high school games for 21 strikeouts in a game.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't pretend to know the answers to those anymore when I don't do high school sports any longer, but who knows?
Absolutely.
We have other baseball in town. Once you get me started talking about baseball, we lose to everything else.
We have a ball.
Yeah, we have the new version of the Brockton Rocks coming in to Brockton.
I did hear about that, and Jim Rice is
involved. Is one of the owners.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah, and Brockton can use a break. I mean, they get pummeled on the news, you know, and it's a great city. And if you only gave it some time to, you know, spend there a little bit, you'd find there's some great pizza places. There's some pretty neat restaurants. There's shopping centers. There's, you know, bus transportation. Brockton really has a lot of good things going for it, and I shudder when people run it down because it's not any place you wouldn't want to take your kids. You know,
right.
There's a small area of trouble like there is in probably every major city, but Brockton is really it's a nice place.
It truly is, and it's known as the City of Champions, and
for a reason too.
Yes, absolutely, it really is. And as a matter of fact, with the NIASH, with the National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame, we do have a couple of board members, Rich Cappiello, who's related to Rocky Marciano, and we've had a few other people who have come from that area who are in fact involved with NIASH, and hopefully they'll be up at the March 24th event. But I do see on the line, speaking of champion, we have a champion of Gotham Whale and the New England Patriots, Mr. Bob Hilberg, on the line.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Bob Hilberg, Executive Director of Gotham Whale and historian for the New England Patriots. How are you today?
We're doing awesome. I have a real special guest here. I'm at the Doubletree Hotel in Danvers, Massachusetts, at the International Ocean Symposium for the Boston Sea Rovers, and we have a local guest, Maura Keene of I Dive New England, who wants to say hi and just kind of share a few things about what she's doing for the community.
Wonderful. Well, Maura, welcome to Paul Ponders on WATD. Great to have you on.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate being here.
You're welcome. So please tell us what you're all about.
So iDive New England, we started a couple of years ago, and what we're looking to do is to excite the next generation of divers, ocean exploration and citizen science projects here with diving. So what we have essentially done is create a modernized platform that allows anyone interested in diving to get resources. So maybe finding a dive site, maybe finding a dive shop, or maybe a dive club, dive events. For example, the Boston Sea Rovers event that we're here right now. This is our Boston Sea Rovers 71st symposium. So it's a long-standing one. This year, Bob Ballard is here. I just walked by him. Bob Ballard found the Titanic, so you can just imagine how incredible this event is. But we're here. We really just want to promote diving and to get the next generation excited.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how do our listeners in WATD land contact you?
So I recommend going on to our website, which is idivenewengland.com, and you can contact me directly at contact@idivenewengland.com.
That sounds wonderful.
Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. So I met her down here. She's been here for a couple of years representing iDive New England. There's a lot of scuba divers here. This place is rocking. I met a woman who was the first woman scuba diver to investigate the Andrea Doria in 1967.
Oh, wow.
So we got some legendary people here, and we're representing Gotham Whale, and the citizen science, is all about, getting people out there to connect with nature, whether it's watching whales or dolphins. We met some shark people down here, or like Maura's doing, dive in. We're all about dive in the pool, or how about dive in the ocean, Connect with nature that way. So I thought Maura would be a pretty cool guest to have on your show as well.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. And maybe a future Paul Ponders guest for the actual podcast available on Spotify and iHeartMedia and YouTube.
We think alike. I've already talked about that. She said, I'm all in. Let's do it.
All righty. Great minds think alike. And Arthur, do you have a question for Bob and Maura?
Yeah. Are these people accessible that are, the fellow that found the Titanic and that kind of thing? That seems to me he'd be somebody I'd like to have a pizza with.
There you go.
Are they accessible?
Yes, tonight. He's going to be at the Boston Sea Rovers Annual Film Festival. He will be gracing the stages tonight. And after the event, there is a Meet the Speakers event. So the show starts tonight at 8 o'clock. Doors open at 7:30. And then afterwards, all of the speakers that are on the stages, we've got some from National Geographic as well that'll be up there. They'll all be in a room where you can go up and just chat with them, connect with them, just talk about oceans and exploration with them.
We're up here in Danvers. It's not that far, an hour and a half from where you guys are probably, but it's right off the highway. This place is rocking. There's thousands of people here. We got all kind of booths from people. I've met people from all over the world that are here to kind of promote the ocean and the sea and the curiosity of what this world's all about in the ocean. So Gotham Whale is here, and we'll be here tomorrow. So come on by. And check out our website. We're going to be at the Beneath the Sea and the Meadowlands in 2 weeks as well. So there's a lot of people that are here at the Boston Sea Rovers that are actually going to be at Beneath the Sea Meadowlands exhibition for the last 3 days of March, too. So there's a lot of collaboration here and a lot of people that know about Gotham Whale and going to learn more about Gotham Whale, not only up here, but all throughout the world.
That is fabulous. That's fabulous. Well, we do a YouTube of this segment of this WATD show on paulponders.com. Techie Chalonzo puts this into YouTube format. And also, Maura, if you don't mind sharing your great interview, Bob's great interview, and the rest of the show with your network, it would be fabulous.
We will, absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. I love it. I love it. Well, that's great. Well, you probably have some more sessions to get to coming up on the 1 o'clock hour. You probably have some sort of workshop that you'll be attending pretty soon.
Absolutely. Well, we just wanted to say hi and thank you for all your support. All the Gotham Whales out there that be Gotham today, be Gotham always is the new slogan we got. and volunteer for us. Check out our website, gothamwhale.org. And once again, what's your website, Ma?
idivenewengland.com.
How simple is that? I dive, just the letter I. Dive New England.
And spell out New England, or is it any?
Spell it all out, yeah.
Spell it all out. You got it. Well, Maura and Bob, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your workshops and the rest of the conference. Thanks for calling in. Really appreciate it.
Hashtag indeed.
Hashtag indeed. Hashtag splendid. Without a doubt. Thank you, and be well, okay? Bye-bye now.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye now. Thank you. And we usually have a call-in segment with the financial wing of Olympic Proportion with Olympian and former Boston Bruins winger Dave Jensen, Senior Loan Officer for Riverworks Credit Union. Dave has a family commitment today, and he's enjoying some family time, and he'll be back next Saturday. So, Arthur, what else is happening in the world?
Well, that's you come home and turn on the news and you say, what bizarre thing has happened today?
Seriously, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy out there right now. You know, people, taking runs at other people, and the tariffs put on goods that I don't pretend to be an economist, so you'll have to forgive me, but by propping up the cost on one end, how is it not going to cost on the other end?
Right.
And that may be well oversimplified, but it just doesn't seem to me that if we go in and we order dinner, and during the course of the dinner the price goes up, you'd be pretty upset by that, and that's on a much smaller scale.
Absolutely. I know from a restaurant point of view where we've had to go up on a couple of items here or there because of the increase, say, with the eggs, with the fry oil and all. We try to keep the price down, very affordable, and we feel that we have really great, reasonable prices at the restaurant. It's getting tougher and tougher, and I will say that before the tariffs went into effect, we did, in fact, stock up on a fair amount of Corona, Modelo, anything coming from Mexico. And it's one of those things that, we anticipated the fact that the tariffs would go into play. And now they're there, now they're not there. It's just going back and forth. And I know it's a negotiation tool and all that stuff, but it's just become an incredible trade war.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to me that there's any winners.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
who decides if it turns out to be good or not?
Right, exactly. And John and Mary Q. Public are in fact going to be paying extra, and also too, it's another reason for why some establishments may in fact use that as a way of in fact boosting up the price even more.
Yeah, I noticed it was brought to my attention that when people get used to something like a cup of coffee at $2.95 or whatever, if you had brought that out 25 years ago and brought it up, one price level, I guess.
Yep.
And then it goes up and it becomes $3.25, but the wholesale price didn't go anywhere but down, and so the spread now is bigger. So I don't know that. As I say, I'd oversimplify it if I said anything more. But I'm not an economist, and I know I'm going to resent it when they raise the price of Pepsi. The way they're going to hear from me.
Exactly. Although I haven't had Pepsi in a long time, I haven't had any soda. It's part of my new.
You look marvelous.
Problem. Well, thank you. I'm still 62 down for the past coming up on 5 years in April, so I'm really really very happy with that. And I did eliminate pretty much soda from my daily intake, if you will. So it's been interesting.
Well, I've limited it down to one in the lunchtime and one in the evening. So.
Okay, well, no, that's you're working on it, and you also look great, and I'm so glad you're in studio with us, and look forward to having you in studio even more over the next few months, weeks, years, into eternity and beyond, right?
I hope not to find that out too soon.
There you go. I love it. So do you have any plans for St. Patrick's Day weekend?
No, I'm not a party goer in terms of big crowds anymore. I'm through with that kind of attendance. You have to be cold, and they want you to warm up with alcoholic drink, and I just I don't see that anymore.
Right, exactly. No, I feel the same way. I'll be hanging out with my Irish cousin who stays out all night, patio furniture, and my other cousin who's a little off the wall, Ricochet. So I'll be doing that. Rim shot, Tim. There we go.
Terrible.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Well, I want to wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day weekend and enjoy. And if you have a chance to make it up to Pearl Street Station Restaurant, Chef Felipe Fitzpatrick has his wonderful corned beef and cabbage. But for now, stay tuned to WATD for the Memories with Ron Dwyer and the Grand Poobah of oldies rock and roll. Ron, you are a true leader of the pack with great musical memories of yesteryear. So thank you, Ron. Listeners can go to paulponders.com to find subscription links to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, as well as finding past Paul Ponders and WATD shows. Thanks again to Tim Behind the Glass. Arthur, thanks for being in studio, and to our advertisers.
It was a nice twist. Thank you.
You're welcome, but really thank you, listeners in WATD world. #Indeed.